Here's what we worked on today. So arrange the deals from best to worst. So we're talking about chicken nuggets, and this is through the website Uber Eats. I just went onto Uber Eats and I checked the prices in our area, and these are the prices they came up with. So this is for a 4-piece chicken nugget, $2.89, 6-piece chicken nugget for $3.19, a 10-piece nugget for $6.49, 20 pieces for $9.19, and then 40 pieces for $15.19. And the goal of this problem is to figure out what is the best deal. So is the 4-piece the best deal, the 6-piece, the 10, the 20, or the 40-piece? So you can see the only information we have is the number of chicken nuggets you get and the price. So based on information, how do you figure out, what is the best deal? And I wanted you to rank them from the best to worst. And the way you would rank it is like number 1 would be the best deal, and number 5 would be the worst deal. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Use those numbers to figure out what is the best and what's the worst. And here's the question we have to answer. What is the cost per nugget? If you can tell me the cost per nugget, you're going to be able to tell me what is the best deal. So we need to know this information to answer that question of what's the best deal. To answer this question, look, the cost per nugget, this is a clue as to how to set it up to figure out what is the cost per nugget. It's actually built into what you're trying to figure out. We want the cost per nugget, and here's how you do it. So I'm going to show you how this is the clue to answering that question. So for example, we have a 4-piece is $2.89. So write that down. So a 4-piece nugget is $2.89. So all you're going to do is this. You're going to take the cost per nugget. In other words, take the cost divided by the number of nuggets, and that'll tell you what the cost per nugget is. So the way I read this, if I want the cost per nugget, I just divide it in that order. I'll take the cost divided by how many nuggets there are, and that'll tell me the cost per nugget. So that's the clue to setting it up as to the order in which you divide it out to answer the question. So all you're going to do is you're going to go back to each of these different cases, and you're going to figure out the cost per nugget by taking the cost, dividing it by the number of nuggets. So I want to do that right now. So we know that 4 nuggets cost $2.89. So again, the cost per nugget, cost up top, nuggets on the bottom. And when we divide this out, we're going to get 72 cents. So that's the cost for each nugget in a 4-piece. Next one is a 6-piece nugget. So there's a 4-piece. The 6-piece is going to be the same thing. We're going to take the cost divided by the nuggets. So in this case, for the 6-piece, it was $3.19 for 6 nuggets. So $3.19 for 6 nuggets. So $3.19 the cost, 6 nuggets. And when we divide this one, we're going to get 53 cents. The next one is a 10-piece nugget. So a 10-piece nugget. And we can see with the 10 pieces that it costs $6.49. So the price per nugget would be the price divided by the number of nuggets. And when you divide this, I'm going to round it. So I'm going to put a wavy equal sign. It comes out to be about 65 cents when you round it to the nearest hundredth. The next one is a 20-piece nugget. So 20-piece nuggets. So if I go back, the 20-piece was $9.19. So I do cost per nugget. So $9.19 for 20 pieces. So cost per nugget, cost divided by number of nuggets. And when I divide this one out, I'm going to get 0.46 cents. And I believe I rounded this one too. These were pre-calculated. So yeah, we got about 46 cents there. And just as a side note, I just want to point out, notice that for some of these I put equals. This time I put the wavy equal sign. So anytime you round, you cut off some of the numbers. You're going to put this, so let the person know that's reading this that this is an approximate answer. It's rounded. And even though the problem is not telling us to round, since we're talking about the cost, the money, you're not going to have more than 2 place values for the cost. So that's why we got to round it. It's implied. And now the last one is a 40-piece. So 40-piece nugget. It was $15.19. And that was for 40 pieces. And when I divided this one out, it came out to be 38 cents. And one thing I just want to point out, I did these calculations earlier, and I went back to double check. So I actually did round every single one of these. So these should all be wavy equal signs. So that means approximately, meaning I rounded the numbers to get this answer. So that means the very first one should have also been an approximation because I rounded this as well. So now I just zoomed out a little bit so we could get the different prices. So you can see here we got 72 cents, 53 cents, 65 cents, 46 cents, and 38 cents. And again, these are all the different prices for each, for each nugget, per one nugget. So in a 40-piece, if I buy a 40-piece, every nugget is costing me 38 cents. In a 20-piece, every nugget costs 46 cents. In a 10-piece, each nugget costs me 65 cents. In a 6-piece, each nugget I'm paying 53 cents. And then in a 4-piece, each nugget cost me 72 cents. So to answer the question, right, or the prompt was to arrange the deals from best to worst. Well, the best one is going to be the cheapest cost per nugget. So if I look at these, I can see that this is the number one. That's the best. And let me just make this, fix that a little bit better. So that's number one. Number two, after this one, would be 46 cents. The third best would be the 6-piece, which is 53 cents. And then we have the 10-piece, which is the 4th best. And then the last one, the 5th best, which would be the 4-piece nugget. And when I was thinking about this situation, I noticed that the 4-piece costs the most per nugget. And I was thinking about, marketing tactics. Again, these are like for McDonald's costs. And it might vary depending on where you live. But in this location, it's 72 cents per nugget. And I wonder, maybe, more people tend to buy a 4-piece nugget. And that's why they charge the most per nugget for 4 pieces. So that was just one idea. But if you really want the best deal, it'd be a 40-piece. And again, the other thing you got to think about, if this is the best deal in the case that you actually eat all the nuggets. But if you're by yourself and you get a 40-piece, but you don't eat them all, you end up throwing them out, then it's not a good deal because you didn't get your money's worth. So there's different ways to answer this question, but the cost per nugget is the basis for your argument as to why it's the best price. What is the best deal?